Okay, so they promise, oh, it won't be political, except it's going to be political. Good going, douchebags. If you want to support channel, click the links. If you want me to edit your Comicsgate writing project, you can get a hold of me below, and I will make a video out of it. It is a lot of fun to edit people's writing. And so far, everything people have sent me has been good. Like, there's always ways to find how something can work with a little bit of improvement. Like, nobody has ever sent me anything that's been absolutely trash. Someone on Twitter mentioned that it should scare the hell out of you when you realize that money isn't these people's primary motivation. Don't get me wrong, they absolutely do love money, but they're willing to lose a little so they can push some propaganda. But it's not something that we can understand. It doesn't affirm life or the family or religion or nationalism. All the things that have, they sounds a little old-fashioned and hokey to say those things now, but all that stuff has sustained civilization for thousands of years. Their message instead is subversive. Everything that is anti-family, anti-nation, anti-unity is stuff that they push. Not only are they rot, filth, and corruption, I really don't like these people, plus they are hypocrites. A economic interest is something that everyone can understand, but this cultural Marxism is something that normies have a hard time wrapping their heads around. Why do they come into something that is working and seek to destroy it? I saw Gal Gadot in an interview with that Flash guy, what's-his-face, who was in Iceland, wrestling one of his fans, just a drunken idiot. He is not a very good Flash either. He's just a little... Ezra something, Klein, maybe? Good cheekbones, though. We'll give him that. That's the one thing I respect about. I remember eating dinner with a bunch of actors in L.A. years ago, and my buddy and I were really into lifting weights at the time, and we weren't really concerned about a little extra body fat on top of that. And we're sitting down with these actors, and they order food and drinks, and so they drink their calories, and they're ordering food just because you're at a restaurant. You've got to order food, and they kind of push it around the plate, and you look at it and realize, these people really don't eat. And then you look at them, they all have cheekbones, and they're all just, very, very, like all of them. Oh, well, if any of the guys were over 150 pounds, I would be very surprised. We always compared it to like girls who are Northern California hot versus Southern California hot. It's a whole different, if you live in LA and you get out and about outside of it, you know what I'm talking about. There's a whole different vibe. It's like the difference between Reno and South Lake Tahoe. If you ever get up that way, go to South Lake Tahoe, get yourself a coffee, and just sit on the main street and watch the women walk by. You're going to see like a lot of these 40-year-old women who are just beautiful, just like, I can tell. I look at them. I can tell they haven't eaten a carb in the past 20 years, and I guarantee they definitely look better than they did when they were, like maybe 20 with a little bit of body fat, kind of the trophy wives. But they're 40 and they're just like 115 pounds, no carbs, shredded, gorgeous. I gotta get back up there before it snows. Anyway, so they come into stuff like films and comics, and even the science fiction awards ceremony, the Hugo Awards, which I've talked about a few times because it is such a good example of blue-haired, childish, weirdo cat people that I wouldn't even trust with a cat. They get a hold of any key node infrastructure, any pivot point, anywhere that they can act as a lever, a force multiplier. And normies cannot understand why these parasites will seek out a functioning society and absolutely destroy it. It doesn't matter if it's a message board, it doesn't matter what it is. If they see it and they see people having fun, they're going to get in there and just F it up. They say that kind of conservative is someone who asks why a fence is up before it's torn down. Liberals just tear down those walls. Remember that Kennedy speech? The guy have to spit on the corner of his mouth. President, I will tear it down. My generation will tear it down. Great. So if someone commits a crime over here, they can just leave and go south. Oh, well, why would they commit crimes then? Great. You're great. It was Senator Kennedy. What a fucking jackass. So they tear down walls because it feels good. But they never mentioned that they live in gated communities or they live in very well policed neighborhoods, which you've seen some examples of lately, like BLM rioting. Does not riot in all neighborhoods equally. They start to, and the cops will shut it down in some neighborhoods and not in others. Enough about that. And if the cities ever do defund the police, these Marxists will just hire their own private police. Really, they just don't want their tax dollars paying for your police, which is sort of a 4D chess move. So you see Wonder Woman. It was a success. For me, it was too politically correct. And I can't get too enthusiastic about a story about a demigod that can't be hurt by anything. She literally picked up a tank to beat somebody up. But it made money, so why would you do anything to screw that up? Because money is not their primary motive. Propaganda is. They are trying to say the term cultural Marxism is hate speech. But you know what they say, you catch flack when you're over the target. The best thing about the film and Batman vs. Superman was Gal Gadot's part in it. And she's an ex-model, chiseled, shredded. She makes Captain Marvel, what's her name? Brie Larson look like, should I not say anything about Brie Larson because she's on YouTube and YouTube has those new rules. When you've got some chick who's like, 12% body fat and just, shredded for someone her age, and then you sit her next to Brie Larson, who's a little bit more, it's like there's kind of I don't know. Brie Larson doesn't look that good. Though she does have titties, though, so congratulations to finding out that. Wonder Woman, and I remember when they brought those titties out on David Letterman or something to try to get her back in people's good graces, and it's like, guys, see those titties and just she insulted everyone, but she's a C cup, so we'll forgive the C cups. We're still mad at her, Brie Larson, but those titties did nothing wrong. So 84 is sounding less and less like a superhero film and more and more like another one of Hollywood's political messages. The latest sees Gal Gadot asked about how impressed with shooting the movie, and she saw for the political places they filmed were the ideal backdrop. We felt like Washington and the White House are very political places. No shit. And therefore the ideal backdrop for the film. We shot these scenes. Whole street was closed. It was so chaotic. It was almost symbolic for everything that is currently happening. Oh, you mean the Chinese-inspired Wu flu? No. We're talking about Trump's response to it. Trump's response, the response that was like every other politician. If he opens the borders, then politicians will say he's destroying America, and if he tries to close the borders, then Biden will say, "Oh, he's a xenophobe." Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. It's just fuck Trump, because why not? Oh God, what is with you people? The news of Wonder Woman 84 is having some sort of political message. Isn't that surprising? As Patty Jenkins, which I use as the thumbnail, she looks exactly like I expected she would look. Played by Pedro Pascal, the villain is based on President Donald Trump. He's one of them. She confirmed in a recent interview when asked if Trump influenced the villain of the film. Yeah, he's literally Stalin. He's definitely one of those people we looked at, but it's any of those kind of mavericks of business success. There were a lot of coked up business people in the 80s. Anyone who's got $1 billion is shady, is doing some shady stuff. Oddly enough, Jenkins says she wasn't trying to send a political message. Get effed. The star Pedro Pascal, based on Trump, was given blonde hair for some reason. I hate these people so fucking much. I don't have an agenda to have a political message to send to the world. Yes, you do. If you didn't have an agenda, stuff like Ghostbusters, Ocean's 8, Charlie's Angels, that last Terminator movie, the last X-Men movie, Phoenix something, all these stupid movies, they're all... I've been making these comic book review stuff because it's all, and I realize I'm a little bit, too far, but it's all blonde man bad, and I have hundreds of examples of this before. You're just histophobic. No, it really is blonde man bad. I can show you 100 comic books within the past 4 years alone. I'm not. I mean, you could do a little matrix and causation correlation chart between who are the antagonists and the protagonists. And if you've got a little brown girl in a comic book, I guarantee you she's going to be a purse puppy. And if you've got a blonde, blue-eyed guy, he's going to be a effing Nazi. Because the people who make these things are they're insane. They've got Trump derangement syndrome. And there's a lot of mental illness in the people who control Hollywood and comics. And the people... Like, a lot of people in comics are deeply weird, and that includes Comicsgate. I mean, there's a lot of guys in Comicsgate who's like, you see how they act. They act like, a lot of them just act like children. They're 40, 50. Some of them are literally millionaires, but they're acting like petty, vindictive little children. I saw one of them fighting with Nasser. It's like, Nasser's 20-something years old. You don't need to fight with Nasser. It's like, leave him alone. He's just young, dumb, and full of cum. And 10 years from now, he'll look back at all the stuff all the people he's fighting with, and realize, yep, I fucked that up. But don't be too hard on the guy. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. This video was just a mess, guys, and I will see you all in the next episode, probably on Bitchute.